I may regret sharing this episode and sharing this take, but it's a take that I genuinely feel. And here we go. Minnesota sports. The Vikings, Wild, Timberwolves, Twins could be on a record-setting historical pace. Something that reminds me of something that happened in Boston in the year of the 2000s. So here we go. Let's talk about it. But first, I need to tell you about 5-Star Bath Solutions of Minneapolis, because they transformed our bathroom not in 6 weeks, not in 8 weeks, in 48 hours. And we're talking about full bathroom remodel, floor, shower, vanity, sink, everything. We did not have to cram into our teeny tiny bathroom downstairs for 6 to 8 weeks while this project got done. Our main bathroom was done in 48 hours, and our bathroom was back in days. And we couldn't have asked for anything more. Our original bathroom was outdated, embarrassing, moldy, and disgusting. They came in, updated it, gave it a facelift, and here's the deal. It adds value to your house. So it's an investment that pays off. You add value to your house with kitchen and bathroom remodels. Our bathroom was remodeled in 48 hours. Affordable pricing, free consultations, 5-Star Bath Solutions of Minneapolis is the way to go if you want to remodel your bathroom. 5-Star Bath Solutions of Minneapolis. All right, so Minnesota sports. This is probably the hottest take that I've ever shared on this podcast. Here's a little preview of what I'm kind of getting at. It says this on wikipedia.com, the most reliant of sites. In the 2000s, Boston's professional teams had what was argued to be the most successful decade in sports history, winning 6 championships, 3 by the Patriots in 2001, 2003, 2004, 2 by the Red Sox, 2004 and 2007, and 1 by the Celtics, 2007, 2008, while also appearing an additional 5 times as league finalists. So, what I'm saying here on this podcast, Minnesota sports will not duplicate what Boston did in the 2000s. But if they do not win a championship in the next 10 years, it will have been the most catastrophic failure that the Minnesota sports scene has ever seen, because right now the collection of talent across the 4 major professional sports teams has been as high as it has ever been in Minnesota sports. Anthony Edwards leading a young and talented Timberwolves roster with him and Jaden McDaniels and Julius Randle. Rudy Gobert is aging, but he's still young enough to compete for championships these next 3 or 4 years. And then he's going to be in his prime. So you got players to add then. J.J. McCarthy stepping in as QB1. He's the unknown, but the roster is perfect. A roster who Kay Adams, the host of FanDuel Sports Network, a show, predicts the Vikings to win the Super Bowl. Sure, the Vikings are in the tough NFC North with the Packers, Lions, and Bears, oh my. But with the collection of talent that the Vikings roster has accumulated via draft and via trades and via free agency, this is the most talented roster that the Minnesota Vikings have had top to bottom in a long time. The Minnesota Wild are most likely going to resign Kirill Kaprizov, and the amount of money that's off the books from the contracts from Suter and Parise will be available to spend to free agents and to resign Kaprizov and to bring other younger, fresher, talented guys in. The Minnesota Twins, if Royce Lewis can somehow stay healthy, the Minnesota Twins are a top team in Major League Baseball if they can get a new ownership group in and actually buy some talent. So the overall point is that the collection of talent that you need, I'm talking about top end talent, that you need to win a title somewhere across the four major sports is there. The best players on each roster and organization across the Minnesota sports platform: Kaprizov, Royce Lewis, Anthony Edwards, and Justin Jefferson. These are all top professional athletes in their profession. When Royce Lewis is healthy, he's a top Major League Baseball player. He's probably top 10, top 15 player. When Kirill Kaprizov is healthy, he's a top 10 NHL player. When Anthony Edwards is playing his best basketball, and even when he's not, he's a top 10 NBA player. Same thing with Justin Jefferson. He is a top 10 NFL player and the best at his position. And these players don't come around often. I mean, think about where Minnesota sports was just 10 years ago. The Timberwolves sucked. The Vikings were up and down. The hockey was nowhere close to as elite as it is now. And the Twins, yeah, they won some games, but never really put it all together in the playoffs. And that curse is broken. They won a playoff game recently, a few years ago. So my overall point is that Minnesota sports, okay, they won't be Boston and win 6 titles in a decade across their sports. But if they don't win at least one and break the, 33-year-old curse, it's easy math because I was born in 1991, then everybody within that organization that are the decision makers deserve to be fired. Because the collection of top talent in Minnesota right now is probably as great as it has ever been. Because each team has a top 10 player, if not a top 5 player, of their or in their profession on their team. Now, you just got to build it so it's consistent. And the Vikings have depth. They have the top talent. A lot of it is dependent on how McCarthy performs as quarterback one. Anthony Edwards is soon becoming the face of the NBA and is soon becoming a superstar player. But can he ascend to that next level, which it appears that he's doing in this playoffs right now? And can the Timberwolves take Julius Randle in 2 or 3 years, Rudy Gobert in 2 or 3 years, flip those guys for some top young talent? Can Jaden McDaniels continue to take those strides to that next level? Because if this happens, you're looking at organizations within the Minnesota sports city and state that could win multiple championships. The Timberwolves could win a championship this year. The Vikings could win a championship next year. The Twins, they're not there yet. They need some pitching and some arms and some better hitting. But the Wild, if they get some better talent around Kaprizov, they could be contending for a championship next year. So this is the time to strike if you are cheering for a Minnesota sports team, or if you are a Minnesota sports team. Because Justin Jefferson's, Anthony Edwards', Kirill Kaprizov's, Royce Lewis's, these guys do not come around often. And right now, each team has one of those guys. So if you are an owner and a general manager of one of these teams, then you need to put a great collection of players around these top talented individuals. Because if you don't, these players are going to demand out, and then you're going to be starting all over again. And the 33 years of abyss are going to become 50 years, will become 70 years. So now's the time. And what you see is that the smart general managers are recognizing that now is the time. Quessy and Tim Connolly are recognizing that, yes, we have these top players on our roster that don't come around often. So you see the Vikings building a Super Bowl roster. You see Tim Connolly building a roster that can compete for NBA championships. You haven't really seen that yet with the Twins. And we should start to see it this offseason with the Minnesota Wild. So the time is now. The time to strike is hot. The irons are in the fire. Build a collection of rosters that can win championships. And I think they will. I think a championship is coming to the Minnesota sports platform and city in the next 5 years. In the next 5 years, it's going to happen. The 33-year run of no championships will soon be over, and the Minnesota sports city, the 4 major sports, they will no longer be the laughing stock of professional sports teams. That's what I believe. Thank you for watching and for tuning into this podcast today. 5-Star Bass Solutions of Minneapolis. Check them out today and be a happy, happy customer. Free consultations are available, and so are affordable payment plans. 5-Star Bass Solutions of Minneapolis. Thank you, everybody, for going on this podcasting journey with me today. Everyone, have a great day.